What is up, everyone? This will be my jungle tier list for the new patch 25.10, and I'm going to go over everything you need to know about the jungle meta and what changes have really impacted it. So for starters, big change was the AP item changes. Lichbane, Storm Surge, Proto Belt, so many changes. This has been a net positive for a lot of junglers. For example, Lichbane, if your champion built Lichbane before, you're going to be really happy with this change. So it did a really big change for jungle. Elise and Echo, the two outliers right now. I personally think because of Lichbane changes, because of, Proto Belt for Echo, Storm Surge for Elise, they are just really, really strong on such a cheap spike, right? Item prices are really important for jungle. Lichbane was 3,100. Now it's like 2,800. So much cheaper. You can build a better path now. Before you need a 1,200 to buy the needlessly large rod. Now you need a blasting one, right? So it's much more realistic for junglers to have that gold base, and it's much easier for you to build it as a jungler. So Echo and Elise were kind of weak because of that, but now we're extremely strong. So those two right away, S-Flex category. And the reason why they're the best, I just see them as being super overpowered, especially with the meta being really about getting these sort of early Feasts of Strengths, right? Right now, I personally think Feasts of Strengths are really strong. They're very OP. So your jungler has to sort of be one that's able to kind of fight and contest for Feasts of Strength. It doesn't mean you have to get them every game, but it's really nice if you can kind of guarantee a higher chance of getting them because they're 500 gold now. They're much cheaper and they're easier for you to just build and have in your team comp. For S category, let's just talk about S tier picks. I think Evelyn's really OP. I think people suck at Evelyn, but she had pretty much all her core items buffed, right? Like the Lichbane is buffed right now. Death Cap also got buffed. 100 gold sounds like nothing, but it's 100 gold less. You have to worry about a core item for her. And honestly, I think she's just really OP in general. Her early game is actually very strong. I think she's going to be a problem as we see more people play her. People get better at her. She looks really good, and she belongs in the S category. Next, we have Hecarim. He's still a prime performer in the higher ranks, even in the middle ranks. I think Emerald is the peak of Hecarim jungle. He's a problem there. He's a goddamn menace in Emerald, and he's really broken still. I'm surprised he hasn't been nerfed yet. I guess after we kind of see what they do about the AP junglers, they're probably going to take their time and nerf Hecarim, which is well deserved. But he's really strong right now. If you do like LP, you probably like him. Kha'Zix, I personally think Kha'Zix is really OP. I also think people are bad at building him. Opportunity got buffed. Ghostblade is the best burst item in the game. And Opportunity, the lethality item, got buffed recently where it's really strong. You should 100% be building this item on melee assassins because it gives you so much more lethality, and it gives you an incredible amount of movement speed after you get a kill. Very powerful 2-item spike, and also extremely cheap, right? Ghostblade's 2,800. The other item is 2,700. It's really good for Kha'Zix and assassins in general. Next, we have Nocturne. Nocturne's just a very solid ultimate hunter champion. His ultimate is just a really powerful ability. He's still very good, and he's still a very powerful pick in pretty much every meta so far. Viego, he's a problem child. He is still a problem in my opinion. His build path, Kraken, Collector, Triforce Collector, whatever he builds, I really just dislike how snowbally he is. It feels like when he gets advantages, he has too much crit scaling. His crit builds are really overpowered and very snowbally, so I'd rather they just nerf his crit builds so it doesn't feel as oppressive to, play against a Viego who gets really ahead for whatever reason. Kayn did get slightly nerfed. Health per level got down by like 8. Even though it's not the most impactful change, I do think losing health is just not good in this meta. It may be a further negative impact for him in the future, but losing health per level is really bad because health is the most powerful stat in the game right now because everyone has armor and MR getting buffed back in the day. Durability patch. HP is just the most broken thing right now. HP stacking is still very OP, right? I think HP stacking is a very strong tool for a lot of champions to just be too tanky for you to even deal with. Red Kayn, for example, is just very strong right now. And I would be not surprised to see Kayn nerfed again in the future. Shaco is really annoying. And also, I think he's really OP right now. I think his crit build, his AD build is actually very powerful. And if he's ever in a bad situation where he doesn't really want to go AD, he can just go AP, and AP is still, very viable for Shaco to play. So Shaco is just a very strong champion right now. And Jin Zhao, he did get slight nerfs. If he didn't lose armor, the nerf was his armor per level. If they didn't nerf that, he would be S plus category. Because they nerfed that, he's just S tier. You know, still a very good thing, right? He's still a very strong pick, very good for getting Feast of Strength, and just a very strong independent jungler in the meta. Next, moving on to the A category. So this is probably what really caught your eye. What are these 3 champions here? What are you doing here? What are you cooking? Listen, I'm going to get some more videos on these 3 in the future, so wait for those. I'm not going to go too great into detail because these are my special boys, right? So I'm going to have to not talk too much on them, but they are real special to me. And if you watch my stream, you'll see that these 3 are very strong and very viable, and they have a great chance to be very OP in certain situations. So the A tier category, those 3 picks, very good. Moving on, we're going to talk about Jarvan. Jarvan, he's just still very solid. He's a good engaged jungler, and he's just a very powerful champion right now that you can just make a lot of engages off. He's good in the meta, very solid. Master Yi, the ninja, Wuju himself, is just a very, you know, snowbally jungler. He's still very good around his build path. He still gets a lot done. Pantheon, I really do like in this meta. I think he's very solid for doing what you have to do to win Feast of Strength. Like we talked about, I think Feast of Strength are very strong. I think you can either play like to be an early game jungler who's really good about getting, you know, winning the Feast of Strength for your team, or you can pick like a scaling jungler who doesn't care about losing a dragon or void grubs, and your plan is to just scale really hard and just carry your team no matter what in, you know, team fights, right? If you're going to pick a scaling jungler, you got to be really good in team fights. And that's exactly what these 3 picks right here, my boys, they do. They're really good in team fights, real juicy, very good. I'll definitely show you more about that soon. And Lee Sin, moving on to Lee Sin, the blind monk is just a very strong in regards to just how tanky and strong he is. Volibear, still very solid, a bit weaker because of just like itemization and just how people are against him. HP, his build, Navori, is better lower ranks than it is higher ranks. So like the higher you go, the more you're going to find yourself struggling because of, you know, whatever reason you're too squishy, you get CC'd to death, stuff like that can still be a bother for him. Next, we have Talon. Talon jungle is very strong, very OP. He's better than he is mid lane. He is a player-based champion, so you have to be really skilled to play him. I think he's just very OP right now. I think the lethality item Opportunity is very OP, so you definitely need to have that in your itemization, but overall he's really good for snowballing. He's generally better designed as a jungler than he is as a mid laner. Diana, I think Lichbane is back. I think you can easily go AP Diana. That's something I'm going to show you guys in the future. AP Diana is really good, very strong. The Lichbane, Storm Surge, whatever build path, it's very viable. You don't have to go tank Diana. Tank Diana did get nerfed because of Leandry, so I think you can easily go Lichbane right now, and I think Lichbane is really OP. So definitely if you're playing Diana, try going Lichbane into like a Shadow Flame or into a Storm Surge build, and you're going to have a much better time playing her. Kindred, a very good champion with the current itemization. She's really good at snowballing early game where you can kind of catch yourself and get, you know, Feast of Strength, which is very good for Kindred and her team. Fiddle is just really OP for support, but the support nerfs didn't really impact jungle. In fact, he's still very OP as a jungler. He's an A tier pick. He's a really solid AP jungler that makes you just be very afraid of the shadows that are the map. And moving on to the B category, I'm just going to go over some picks. I still really do believe Kai'Sa jungle is strong. You like her, you can still play her. I have another Kai'Sa jungle build that I've been cooking with. I'm going to show you guys in another video, probably within the next week as I do it, practice it more on stream. And yeah, I think she's really good and really solid. I think Zed jungle is actually not bad. I think people haven't really building well on him. I think you should go Hubris. Hubris is really OP. And either go First Strike or Dark Harvest on him. Very strong. First Strike just gives you a lot more money, so you can actually get to these item spikes. And also Opportunity is just a very broken item. So you do want to be building like, you know, certain items that are really going to give you the most kind of power and damage. Morgana jungle is actually looking really good. I see Morgana jungle as, you know, she's quite strong right now. She's much better than like a Zyra jungle. So if you like Morgana, she can definitely, you know, work really well for your game. And that's something you can definitely, kind of play around. And you can see some junglers got very negatively impacted because Liandry's also got nerfed, right? Liandry's minus 10 AP, right? So losing 10 AP, it's like not crazy, but it does affect junglers who rush it first, right? 10 AP is, it used to be 70, now it's 60, right? That's still like 1/6 of it, right? It's a big damage nerf for some champions like Udyr, Nunu's still pretty good, but like Lilia affected, Zyra jungle affected, right? So these certain Liandry's junglers have been affected by it. And that's just something that, the consequence of the Liandry's nerf. The rest of the picks, the only thing I want to touch on is Shen jungle. I don't think Shen jungle is actually good. He clears so fast. His first clear is actually extremely quick. But I really do think he just it doesn't really seem that good. He doesn't seem strong enough unless you're a one-trick in Shen. You know exactly how to play him. He seems kind of conditional. His early game damage isn't really that high. You E on someone, you don't have anything to keep people stuck, right? Like my issue when I played Shen jungle was that if I E onto someone, I'm not really able to do anything else to keep them slowed. I can't really slow them. I can't really stick on them, right? You're not damaging them that much and you're not sticking on them that much. And he's a scaling champion, so his scaling is really good. But unfortunately for jungle, you do need to have that early impact. So I'm not big on Shen jungle. I think it's kind of like a bad bait pick. I wouldn't recommend it. But the other picks, the 3 picks here, I'm saying it's working. It's cooking. It's something that I certify. I think these 3 are extremely viable, very strong, and if you know how to clear on them, very OP. So hope you guys like this video. Be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments below. Good luck on the game, good luck on the climb, and I'll see you guys in the next video.